Hello. There's been a lot going on for me, as for all of us. We have a full moon coming up on the 19th, very early in the morning, and I think, what is it, 4:13 a.m. Pacific time. So on the East Coast, well, no, I guess it's a little bit later. In any event, um, it's an interesting full moon in that, the full moon is when the sun and the moon are opposite each other. So in this case, the sun is at 26 degrees, 41 minutes Virgo, and the moon is at 26 degrees, 41 minutes Pisces. So when you look at the chart and when you look at the aspects, you look at what degrees they are, and the aspects are the planets that are in different signs within the same number of degrees. And what's interesting about this full moon is obviously the other planets have continued, all of the planets have continued to shift somewhat. But the sun and the moon don't really make any aspects to any of the other planets and the movements. And although the other planets have continued to move, they haven't, the aspects, the way that they've been moving, the aspects remain more or less the same. So with this full moon, you could have the feeling that, there's some kind of culmination happening, which is the feeling of a full moon, but nothing's happening, nothing's changing. And that can feel frustrating or kind of confusing, or like, what? And especially since the aspects that still show, kind of what I spoke about last couple of weeks, 1 foot on the gas, 1 foot on the brake pedal, those definitely still remain. And those definitely still affect especially the fixed signs, which would be Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius, and Taurus. And Taurus is probably feeling it, probably the most of all of them, although, Scorpio and Leo definitely as well. Aquarius gets a little bit more help. But everybody feels this as well. And the other aspects, the aspects that show spiritual, the need for kind of connection to a spiritual source and a kind of surrender to a force higher than yourself instead of pushing to get things your own way, that still remains powerful and necessary for some signs. In particular, I would say Virgo and Capricorn, and probably Taurus. They need to rely on that the most. And the frustrating aspects that have affected the cardinal signs, Aries, Capricorn, Cancer, and Libra, those have been long running. By this time you're used to it, so whatever good comes up is like icing on the cake. But a lot of the aspects remain more or less the same, so you can feel a little bit like you're still running on the same hamster wheel, but somehow there's been some sort of shift or change, or things are coming to some kind of culmination. It sounds paradoxical, but it still is very much the signature of this time. There are a few subtle differences for some of the signs, and there's some positive romantic aspects as well, although they're kind of weird. They're both positive, and at the same time, Venus is in the same position as it's in Scorpio, next to Saturn, which Venus and Saturn together usually are not the most romantic. It usually means work on love or romantic interest. So the way that works out is that for serious relationships, this is a great time to work through, especially in terms of long-range plans and where you think you're going, and that there can be a real harmony and peace, and even a kind of passion and romance because of the square that Venus makes to Mars, which can lead to a lot of like turmoil in romantic relationships, but also a lot of excitement. So, and there too, there's the 1 foot on the gas, 1 foot on the brake pedal. There's definitely activity in the romantic and in the creative aspect. It's much easier to talk about what it means creatively, because Saturn next to Venus is good creatively. It means it's a good time to work on it, and that you'll get the trine to Jupiter shows really solid progress. Again, the water signs in particular will feel this: Cancer, Scorpio, and what's that other water sign? Pisces. They will definitely all feel this very strongly, and the earth signs too benefit from it as well. But everybody benefits from it anyhow. that's that like creative activity is definitely there's a definite benefit from following that. However, it can be, with the square to Mars, it can be difficult to find the time or to make the time. There can be lots of things that get in the way just when you think it's all going to get going. But nonetheless, this is that will pass too, and you might as well enjoy it while you can. Aries, once again, remains a little bit out of it. Aries has to start to be careful as we move more into the sign of Libra. They will, if they keep kind of going, there's definitely a need for energy moving. They're kind of separate from all this stuff, but they can start to exhaust themselves or have health problems if they don't watch it as the sun moves into Libra in the next month or so. Sagittarius really needs to get like physical activity. They're super spacey these days, and physical activity is key in terms of being able to like move through the issues that come up. Pisces is also in a bit of a spacey place. They're particularly challenged to find the balance, to find the way to both live the transcendence that they feel and to ground it. And they have good aspects for doing it, but they have to use it. They have to work at it. The air signs, Gemini and Aquarius, Libra, and there's always one more that I'm not thinking of. Oh no, those are the only air signs. They are starting to get help as the sun moves into Libra, and there's actually some good aspects moving into place for those signs that help out with the difficulties. Aquarius is still dealing more with the foot on the gas and foot on the brake pedal, but it also definitely gets some help as well. Taurus has it kind of difficult. Like I said, Gemini and Libra, it really depends a lot on what the rest of your chart looks like. The nature of the aspects are so kind of wide-ranging that it's very difficult to make like any kind of broad statement about what it's like now, except for that you get some help as the sun continues to move into Libra. And I think that I've said something about pretty much every sign. Like I said, the differences, the changes are subtle right now. And for the most part, we find ourselves somehow feeling like something's changed, but we're still running in the same place. That definitely changes as the sun moves into Scorpio, and we face the new moon next month on November 4th, I believe. I will talk to you soon, and I hope you have a great couple of weeks. Bye.